everybody.
Welcome to 2022 Professional Lovers.
We are so happy to be back. It's a new year. Happy New Year to everyone.
With a new look.
Hope you had a good Christmas holiday. So new year, new look for us. Hope you like it. And
a new crew to deal with.
A new season 14 of Married at First Sight. So if you are joining us for the first time, we call ourselves the Professional Lovers.
Yes.
Patty.
And Al.
And we've been married 28 years.
28.
And I've been watching Married at First Sight since the very beginning.
I've been watching her from the very beginning.
And you started watching Married at First Sight, about a year and a half ago? 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. And we like watching Married at First Sight mainly for the issues that come up when these couples are trying to build their marriages.
Yeah. Relationship
issues, which all couples go through in some form or fashion. Some issues are more intense than others. And so since we've been through it as well, we decided that this would be a cool way to talk about those issues using the lens of Married at First Sight.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of people who do recaps. Any type of recap you want to find is out there.
You can find it.
What we try to do is focus on the issues and the behavior that the couples display. One thing we know, it's TV.
True.
Second thing we know, it's produced and edited. Third thing we know is that there are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we don't know or come out in other forms, other media, and people who are really, sleuths in Married at First Sight trivia will unearth those things.
But one thing we do know is that it's real.
Yes, and the issues are real.
Exactly.
So we really try to focus on the issues. So we're glad that you're with us, and we're excited. We had a rough season last season.
Yeah, we did.
And after the reunion show, the last couple who was holding out didn't make it.
So we had an 0 for season.
0 for season.
0 for 5.
And so we're going to talk about the couples, kind of the positive things that we've seen and the red flags that are waving in the air thus far. So, want to get started?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Lindsay and Mark, the first couple to get married, the only couple to get married tonight in tonight's episode.
Right.
So, Lindsay and Mark. Lindsay's 34, Mark is 37. Both very high energy.
Live wires.
Adventurous.
Yes.
Intense. And I think he discovered that she's a little bit more intense than he is.
Well, I think she became a little more intense because of the day. And she started off
with 2 bottles of champagne.
Lubricating herself a little early.
Yeah, so she's very relaxed.
Extremely.
And
in a wedding dress, laying on a park bench. You don't get much more relaxed than that.
Okay, so belching on her way to walk down the aisle.
They just happened to catch that on TV. She didn't do it in front of anybody.
Yeah, but she seems like, we'll start with Lindsay. She seems like a lot of fun.
Right. I think she's real. I mean, I think she doesn't hide who she is. And she's already said, as well as her friend said, that she does not have filters.
Well, her dad and brother basically said she doesn't have filters. That can be a red flag.
Could be. That
she takes no prisoners. She can chew you up and spit you out. Those are all red flags.
If you can't handle it.
Yes. So she's a lot.
Right.
And
on the other hand, we have Mark the Shark.
The Shark. Very family oriented, but family's kind of broken apart. Father died, mom in a rehab facility.
Yeah.
Grandmother.
Only child.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Mark is that this is his second time
on Married at First Sight.
Trying out for Married at First Sight. The
Yeah.
first time he didn't get picked.
Yeah.
So for him, second time's a charm.
True.
Very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Fast mover. It's kind of like, I'm in. If I don't see something right away, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, so he moves very quickly.
But in this case, he's in. And you can't just jump out. So
true.
Let's hope that he's in for the long haul. I do believe once the dust settles, these two levels of energy can meld together well. I believe, you know, I think they're both intelligent individuals, and they're both cat people. I mean, she's made fun of it, talking about she's
even
allergic
though she
to
said
them.
She's allergic.
Exactly, she got two cats
she's
allergic to. But he's got 3. So now they got a family of 7.
That's a lot of cats.
Yeah, that's a lot of cats.
Can you imagine 5 cats?
No, I can't.
Yeah, no. I'm not a cat person.
No.
So
it's a lot of personalities that I don't want to deal with.
And then the last kind of red flag that I have down for Lindsay is that her dad says she tends to react rather than respond. And that can cause some problems. When you talk first and think later.
But if she takes his advice, which was specifically, if you're upset, don't say anything.
Right.
So
that could save a lot of
grief and anguish. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about their pairing?
I think it was a good attempt thus far. I mean, from the personalities and the characteristics, I think they're a good pair. I think their energy together and the bonding, I think, will be kind of easy because they're both communicators. Now, it just so happens in this instance, Lindsay was a little overwhelming, because she was just a little too loose.
Mark was wiping his brow already, like, whoo, man.
As guys do, you know, trying to put our best foot forward, you know, and trying to absorb all of this. I know he knows that he's a handful, but now he has met someone that can kind of make him step back for a second. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
I think that their energy is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that because they are both very strong and have a lot of energy and aggressiveness, that there might be some issues with control and a control struggle, power struggle, that they could clash at that point. And so that's the only kind of danger that I see with their personalities.
Well, I look at the potential of those personalities putting that type of fervor and assertiveness to supporting one another as well. So, I mean, I think that there's a possibility of a benefit to that they both can grow from. So,
all right.
We
shall see. Next couple, Katina and Elijah Wan.
2 former partiers.
Yeah.
You know, 2 former, currently, you know, pretty people.
Mm-hmm.
The life of the party, so to speak, you know, young, energetic, both very attractive, physically fit individuals.
Mm-hmm.
My immediate flag or concern, so to speak, is whether or not Elijah Wan, formerly Isaac, the partier, is ready to
or
give
other
up.
names.
Yeah, or other names. I mean, he's had aliases because of his lifestyle.
Right.
Is he really ready, willing, and able to give up that lifestyle for what he says he wants in becoming married?
Well, he did say that he spent 2 years getting to know himself and maturing and changing from the playboy that he was, the serial cheater, liar, self-centered person, that he said he no longer is. So I can appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
That he can
be honest.
He can
about
openly
himself.
say, "This is how I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was not cool, and I gave myself a 2-year break to get it together, and now I'm ready to be married." And I hope that he is.
I hope so too.
Because old habits die hard.
True.
He hasn't tested out his new person, right? He took a 2-year break from dating. He hasn't tested out the new person.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a huge red flag. Yeah. I wanted to specifically see how he handled himself at the bachelor party. Mm. And he kind of handled himself the way that a partier would.
Yeah. He knew what to do at that party.
Yeah.
You know.
But everybody can change. I think back to Woody mm-hmm. and Armani. And Woody was a party guy.
True.
I didn't know that he was a playboy, but he was a party guy.
Right.
He came across as someone who you wouldn't think was ready for marriage. True. But once he jumped in, he jumped all the way in. Yeah. And he really surprised me. So maybe Elijah Wan can do the same thing.
Well, I'm hoping that he can surprise you. I'm hoping.
Because Katina comes with the baggage of a lot of cheating relationships. Mm-hmm. Divorced parents, father incarcerated, says that she does not really have a model, mm-hmm. a relationship model.
An example.
Has never been really taught about relationships, choosing men, mm-hmm. how to be in a relationship.
And it's not to say that, a person can't still have a relationship, but it makes it a little more challenging when you don't have an example to model after or something to, as a goal to look forward to. And considering some of the history and experiences that she's had,
she's got some walls built up.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Right. She's had to protect herself.
Exactly.
And so therefore you're going into a marriage with a stranger where you're automatically thinking self-preservation.
And it is a little scary to know that the person that she's pairing with has had that type of history in his past.
Exactly. So, for me, they're a little suspect, a suspect pairing. Because the other thing that kind of waved a red flag.
I know you're going to say it.
I'm going to say it. That he wants a
traditional wife.
A traditional wife who can cook. And cooking is non-negotiable for him.
That's like a deal breaker.
Well, we don't know if she can or not because they didn't broach that.
True.
In this introductory episode. But a traditional wife usually means a wife who's going to take care of me.
Yeah, a housewife, so to speak.
For whom I am
her priority.
Right. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. He is a priority.
But she is a priority as well.
So
my priority. Just a priority.
So that's a little scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was scary for his family when he started talking about it.
That would be scary for anybody.
And that one lady on the, I don't know who she was, whether she was a friend, a sister-in-law, whatever. He was like, what I would tell the wife is to ignore him.
Believe it or not, I think that's very critical though. Because you have to be patient,
ignore him.
Yeah. And she was dead serious.
Serious.
Because she knows him. I mean, she was part of the family. So, yeah. I don't know. That, but there's something to what she said. Literally, ignore him. Don't worry about that part of it. He's talking. And I think over time, he will realize that there is no traditional anymore. Everybody has roles that needs to be addressed. It doesn't have a single person that can fill that role. Both as partners can get things done. So right now for me, Katina and Elijah Wan,
don't. Big question mark.
Well, we shall see. We shall
Big
see.
question mark for me.
The door just opened. We'll see exactly what they do when they walk through it.
All right. Noi, and Steve. Well, they seem to be the best matched on paper. Yeah. On the surface.
Right.
Both with Oriental backgrounds.
Right.
Both with 2-parent homes, strong marriages, lots of siblings, close family.
Diverse families as well.
Right. He's adventurous. He's a free spirit. She starts off looking very buttoned down, but then her alter ego comes out, and she seems to be a free spirit as well.
Yeah.
She likes to have fun. Hopeless romantic. Now, for me, that can be a red flag. Just from the standpoint that if you romanticize everything, then
you can be ignoring reality.
Right. And so
that can be detrimental.
But she's had great marriage role models in her parents.
Exactly.
Being refugees, growing up poor, having to struggle, and still, maintaining a strong relationship. At least she's got a great example to pattern herself after. He doesn't have a steady job. Red flag. Doesn't need to be tied down to any one place or lived out of his car after he got laid off from his job.
But I mean,
apparently he could.
Yeah, I mean, he's 38. He's not, a knucklehead. That's something he evidently wanted to do. He chose to do it. Took his time about it. Enjoyed his time, in solitude and being independent. Went from the north, went south. Experienced, Yeah,
he lives life to the fullest.
He experienced himself.
He lives life to the fullest, but the no job just worries me.
It's a temporary situation.
I didn't know that I would have gotten married with no job.
He may have selected. I mean, he may have been selected, and it happened, and he wanted to continue through with it, and he may have a plan.
And he seems to be the most serious, kind of steady.
Yeah, stable. Stable-minded individual.
Yeah.
He's the oldest out of everyone, so I think there's something to that as well.
But like I said, I think on paper they're the best matched couple.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, they do have a lot of commonality. So. We'll see again.
All right. Jasmina and Michael.
I have hope for them. I really do. I do. And the reason why I say it like that is because I think they're two good, genuine people, and they're young at heart. And they want the best for themselves, not in a selfish way. Jasmina, again, not having that family dynamic, the normal family dynamic. Basically, her best friend is her stepmother, who her biological mother stepped away from her and her sister at the age of 2. Father wasn't in the picture.
Has a lot of baggage.
Yeah. But again,
9 siblings, some of whom she's doesn't
never
know.
Met, but she knows she has them.
Right. So the dynamic is
challenging.
Yeah.
Challenging, to say the least.
But it's made her, it appears to have made her
know what she wants.
Get out of my head. Can I have my own thoughts?
Y'all said y'all wanted to hear me talk more, so I'm talking more.
That is exactly what I was going to say. She knows what she wants. And she wants somebody who will challenge her and push her. And he, grew up with all sisters and a brother.
One brother, but he's got a lot of women around.
4 sisters. Parents died.
Right.
And the one thing that worries me about him is he admits that he has had no practice in compromising. He admits that he has a hard time being vulnerable, opening himself up. So he's closed off, a lone wolf. Wolf doesn't, really like being vulnerable. And the most vivid red flag for me is his admission that he self-sabotages his relationships. Okay. He has admitted to finding nice women, but
finding an excuse, to veer.
Picking it apart to find a reason to leave.
Yeah, she's left-handed.
That's very scary.
But, in my opinion, and then again, we're right at the very front door, so this is just my observance and my thought process on Michael and him hearing him say that, he's somewhat uncompromising. I don't care how uncompromising he is. If he's living in a house with 4 other females, he is going to be compromising somewhere along the line on a continuous basis, because there's no way that you're going to have that many women that have a man that's a sibling. And again, he's not, he's not an estranged type personality, that they're going to rely and tap into him as a male availability, and do this for me. Can you do that for me? Or whatever the case may be. I think he's underestimating himself, only because when it comes down to relationships, he has things that he can compare to, and maybe they don't live up to it. But for him to say that he has been kind of uncompromising, I don't necessarily think that he really understands how compromising he has been. That's just my opinion. Because like I said, you live in the house with 4 other women.
Well, but his own brother said.
Well, his brother wasn't there.
His own brother said.
His brother was the one that booked. Matter of fact, I think it's the brother that was like, I can't deal with these women. I'm out.
Hey.
But I'm just saying.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
You dealt with 4 brothers. I mean,
yes, I did.
Similar situation, so you know how to deal with men, which is why I really believe that him, as a lone individual for the most part, dealing with his sisters, he knows how to deal with women. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, aside from how kind of strict he was in kind of self-assessing himself. So,
all right.
That's just me.
Let's keep hope alive.
Okay, I can do that.
And then our last couple, Alyssa and Chris.
Yeah.
They don't generate a lot of excitement. Both very straight-laced.
Yeah.
Which is not...
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not a bad thing.
But I mean, when you have, 8 other individuals that have personality and character, and they kind of display a certain pizzazz or flair in their being, where Alyssa can be a wallflower, and even with yeah. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Everybody has their own, preferences. But to be within a group and know that all of y'all are going through the exact same thing in the exact same fashion, and somebody not remember your name specifically because you're not involved for the most part. You're not.
You're standing off to the side with your own group of friends.
Yeah, you're not interacting. You're not interacting.
Yeah.
So that in itself, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that, but again, it's like going to a party and finding a corner. Why go to the party?
Yeah. Well,
But she went for a husband. She don't care about the party.
there
She
you
went for a
go.
husband,
She went
so.
for the husband. They're both best friends with their mothers.
Just hearing that is funny.
She's well, she's an animal lover, and she loves country, farm life, horseback riding, her boots, country music.
Yeah, boots and no socks. I don't know if she had socks on or not, but
so she's passionate about her activities, as he is as well.
True.
Big time into
disc
golf, which I don't really understand, but
that's like Nerf basketball.
To each his own.
They're fake.
And because he grew up in a single parent home, he really has a lot of drive to succeed. Right. I don't know, they didn't focus much on what she does, or and it's interesting that she and Lindsay both felt each other's vibe, that they are not really, they don't really connect. But those were the two that were jilted by their exes. Like Lindsay's fiance left her 5 days before their wedding.
Yeah.
And then Alyssa's man came home and said bye.
Yeah, we're done.
But
blindsided. Yeah.
They didn't feel a friend connection there, so we'll see what happens as everything plays out. So, what about Alyssa and Chris's pairing?
Actually, that might end up being a very traditional pairing. Where he's the one goes out, does what he does, and she's kind of like a homebody. She doesn't do a whole lot of activity, but I mean they can do what they do, and they can kind of accept the, I guess, traditional roles, so to speak. I'm not talking about necessarily just the cooking and the cleaning and stuff like that, and he goes out and he,
No, but they're very, they both seem a little low-key.
Yeah, conservative, so to speak. Yeah. So, I feel that, their energy can support one another in the way that, we see them so far. So there you have it, our 5 couples. And next week, I imagine all the other 4 will be getting married. Yeah.
And we'll start to see the process move forward. So hopefully we'll have a better season this time around.
Definitely better results.
To make up for the last 2 seasons that have been hard to watch.
Yeah, challenging to say.
Hopefully the experts did a much better job with the matchmaking. And the producers, stop trying to create drama.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All we can do is have hope and keep our fingers crossed, like we do every time a Married at First Sight season begins.
Yes, exactly.
So thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, stay safe, everyone. And
please.
Peace.
Enjoy.